Hey guys, welcome to my review of the Huawei Watch GT. Now, I know some of you have already watched the unboxing and I did receive some of the questions in my inbox. So let's talk about the Huawei Watch GT. Here's what I thought about it. I basically took the watch with me to Hokkaido, the land of freezing snow, and I wanted to see how well it performed. So one of the things I did do was I did leave the charger at home. Now, this is the full review. So, what did I like about the watch? First things first, I love the design. Come on, it looks exceptionally exquisite as a dress watch. The bright polished surfaces mated together with the brown strap that had, if you flip it around and you can see it, it has this um, silicone underneath, rubbery like silicone underneath, and a leather like surface on the top, which makes it, for me, I sweat a lot, so it kind of makes the watch very resistant to odors and also making it also less prone to collecting sweat. Also, the next thing I did like was the screen. Really bright AMOLED screen. It does show up well under very bright sunlight, so I love that too. Next, the watch had exceptional battery life. And here are a couple of time-lapse pictures, or I'm just going to put them in the corner here. And you can see at the end of every day, I have the watch just off my wrist so that I could take a picture. And the only time I really took the watch off was when I took a shower. I had it on all the time, and even to sleep. Yes, even to sleep, because the watch does track sleep. So I had it on, and basically what I did was I took the watch off the charger on midnight 25th. That means at the stroke of Christmas, I took it off. And the only time I ever needed to put it back on the charger was when it was yelling at me with an indicator saying battery low at 10%, was at the end of 8 days. So 8 full days, I was able to keep it on. And the heart rate, as you can see from the setup here and the screen capture that I have on the phone, the heart rate monitoring is perpetual. That means it is constantly measuring my heart rate. I had a couple of exercises built in. As you can see, I walked quite a fair bit when I was in Hokkaido. So it was measuring in excess of 10,000 steps almost daily, and it was tracking my sleep. So all this just shows me it is a watch that I would take on a trip with me beautifully, because I don't have to worry about it running out of juice. Right. Next thing I did like about it was its price. Unlike some of the other watches out there, for that build and look that it had, it sells for in Malaysia for 999 ringgit. Now the black and rubber piece one sells for 100 ringgit cheaper. But when you look at the two side by side, it's just, I mean, even though they're identical, they just look worlds apart. And for 100 ringgit more, the brushed, polished surface of the silver version with the leather strap just looks better as an all-round watch. I have plenty of sports watches, so I just loved it because it was beautiful as a dress watch. And one of the things that I did like about it was that it was a very good health tracker. It kept my heart rate tracking constant. It was able to tell me the number of steps. After I came back, I went for a sports game. I didn't know what it fell under because it didn't have racket sports activities. But so I switched it to others, and it was able to track and have my maximum peak heart rate and tell me whether I was in aerobic, non-aerobic fat burn in terms of heart rate. And it also gave me an indication of what my recovery time will be. So it was really, really good as a health tracker. I wouldn't say the best, but it did a very good job of tracking my health. Obviously, now that I've told you everything I did like about it, here are some things I didn't like about it. It's not a smartwatch. Smartwatches allow you to interact with the notifications that's coming from your phone. But in this case, it doesn't. It basically gives you all the messages, and it's not even well thought out, because it tells you what the message is. It tells you who's the sender, but it doesn't tell you from which application that notification or that message is from. So they're all kind of jumbled up together. The only one exception to it is WeChat. And for some reason, WeChat shows up and you get a WeChat icon next to it. Could be because of the fact that this watch was made by Huawei, and in China, it's predominantly WeChat. So that's one of those things I didn't like. You couldn't respond to it. You couldn't answer texts, and none of this. The next thing I didn't like was, despite the fact that the screen was really bright and clear, it wasn't as responsive as some of the watches out there. So, for example, if you have, you know, played around with either a Fossil Wear OS watch or any of those Wear OS watches, you will find that they're very fluid and they kind of follow your finger quite a bit. But in this case, it's not quite there. I mean, it has improved a lot. I did see the watch a month and a half back at one of the stores, Huawei flagship stores, and I played with it there, and it was lagging so bad that I really didn't want to do this review. But then again, you know, thanks to Spot and the guys who sent me the watch, mind you, they're not even Huawei. So Huawei didn't send me the watch, and it was sent by one of the distributors, and I'll put a link below just to thank them. You know, go to the link, see what they sell. But they sent me the watch, and after updating, I think 3 firmware updates in sequence, it became very usable. And that was when I found the watch to be very likable. So it isn't as responsive as some of the other watches out there. Right? So these are some of the things I didn't like about the Light OS in this Huawei Watch GT. In summary, for the price that you're getting or you're paying for at 999 ringgit, which is something like 250 bucks or less, it is a very capable watch. It looks very nice. And if you're not one of those people who constantly fiddle around to try and respond to messages, and you just want a watch that will track your health and be able to tell you messages when you get it, this is, to me, I highly recommend you go and take a look at it. And for me, the black version just doesn't do it so well. The silver one is my preference. Again, this is my review and my preference. So you guys may feel differently. Tell me what you think down below. If you have any messages or you have any questions, do post it below. I will answer them as fast as I can. I will be putting this Huawei Watch GT up as a comparison with the Samsung Gear Smart, as well as my ProTrack WSDF 20, and just share with all of you guys and girls what the differences in the operating system is and what are the pros and cons in each of these. And that will be in an upcoming video. All right, so thanks for watching, and if you have any queries, put it down below. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Do consider to subscribe. If you don't like it, put a thumbs down, and also tell me why you didn't like it if you don't mind. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Cheers.